My work in ministry over the last 10 years has been so significantly with people for whom doubt is a big, loud, persistent question. In youth groups, at summer camp, in campus ministry, and with people who have come back to church after having never thought that church could be an option for them again. We all know that there are plenty of Christian traditions out there in which doubt is scolded and certainty is normalized. There are Christian traditions and Christian leaders who treat doubt as a series of questions that are simply not worth asking. And on the other side, there are leaders who breeze past doubt as a source of pain or confusion or longing or curiosity in an attempt just to make it okay. But I feel like it is worth wondering aloud that when we talk about belief and doubt, what are we talking about? What makes belief belief? I think that our kind of baseline assumption is that belief is when I present you with a series of creedal statements and you say, yes, I agree. But I wonder, is belief something that lives in your mind, like in your brain or in your thinking? Or is belief something that you hold in your heart, something emotional or intuitive, something that feels right, or at least feels like worth pursuing? Or does belief live in your gut, like an instinct? Or does it live in your arms and legs, embodied in the way that you live and move throughout the world? I wonder if somebody says that they believe in all of this church stuff and then goes and lives their life in a way that contradicts the teachings of the church. I wonder, what does their belief count for? Similarly, I wonder if somebody says that they struggle to believe all of this church stuff, but they show up, they say the words, they ask questions, and live their lives in a way that honors the spirit of what we think God asks of us, and they still have unanswered questions. I wonder what their desire to believe is worth. A whole lot, I think. I say all this to say that it can feel really easy to treat doubt and belief both as problems to be solved, as questions to be answered, as a tension that is in need of resolution, or that one has to triumph over the other, belief or doubt or belief. And I'm just not sure that that is what it has to be like for us. The story of Doubting Thomas is what we get every year on the second Sunday of Easter, and it can be so tempting to moralize Thomas, one way or the other, either that his doubt was bad and a sign of weak faith, or that his doubt was healthy and an appropriate response to a traumatic situation. And I've been playing lately with the idea that, I guess, doubt isn't something that you can moralize. Doubt isn't good or bad. Valid or invalid is not something that doubt can be. Doubt isn't an enemy or a friend. Doubt is just a neighbor, and you can't really pick your neighbors. You can't decide when they use the leaf blower or when they show up on your doorstep with a banana bread. You can't decide when they move in, how long they stay, when they move out, or when or where they go on vacation. You can't decide when they take up smoking on the front porch just upwind from you. Doubt is just there. So I mean all this to say that if you have doubt, that's real. If you feel certain, that's real. If you have doubts now in a way that you used to not, or if you feel settled in your beliefs now in a way that never felt possible, those are both real. And if some form of doubt has been your neighbor for a long while or a little while, I imagine that you are not alone in that. And I wonder what it would feel like to absolve yourself of the responsibility to resolve your doubt. Remember that the apostles themselves were not paragons of certainty. Peter sank into the water after Jesus told him to walk towards him. Thomas couldn't believe that Jesus had come back from the dead without proof. The apostles did not think that Jesus could feed 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish. His followers famously misunderstood him time and again, his parables, what he taught, what he foretold. Doubt and uncertainty was with them for practically the whole gospel. And the way that they pushed the plot forward was not that they cured their doubt, but simply that they kept showing up. They kept following, and they wondered what they would find if they kept going. Jesus says to Thomas, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have come to believe." All told, the women at the tomb saw and believed. The apostles in the upper room saw and believed. Thomas saw and believed. We are the ones who haven't quite seen in the same way. Do you think that blessed are those who have not seen and yet have come to believe might just be about us? Amen.